You ever hear normies say things and you're just like, that's not true at all? You know, there's so many platitudes that boomers, normies, and just like, people that you meet day to day that just casually bring up, and you just think that's not how anything works. I kind of want to go through some of these platitudes that normies say and just kind of dissect why they're fucking bullshit. So to start off with, if you don't vote, you have no right to complain. Ooh, I hate this one. Ooh, I hate that. I think the total opposite. I think if you aren't voting, then you have way more of a right to complain because you're literally not asking for any of this. Like, you're not asking for anything that's going on in the status quo. And the subtext of this is that there's some kind of like meaningful choice to make when it comes to elections. No, there's not. No matter who you vote for, like in USA, if you vote for Republicans or Democrats, the welfare warfare state will continue to expand, government spending will continue to increase. The only thing you're really choosing is what kind of rhetoric you'll hear for the next 4 years. And the same goes in UK. Like, it doesn't matter who you vote for, they all pretty much think the same thing. You can never vote for anything that's like a real meaningful difference. I care about liberty. I care about personal and economic liberty. What can any party offer me? Like, really? I don't like anything that these politicians are doing, so I have every fucking right to complain. Way more so than someone that endorses, neoliberal party A or B. Another platitude is, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. No, it's not. When? So since when? It's just such nonsense. Did the Soviet soldiers in Holodomor have good intentions when they were arresting and executing people because they looked a little bit too well fed, so they obviously must have been stealing food? Or when they were destroying cooking utensils and equipment so they could inflict more starvation on the population? Were there any good intentions there? Where were these nice people that, had like the best of intentions? Oh, things just went a little bit wrong. Like, I hate it. I hate that concept. The road to hell is never paved with good intentions. When you look at people that have done evil things, they enjoy suffering. They enjoy inflicting suffering on people, and it gives them kicks. It gives them like this like monkey brain, I'm higher than you in the hierarchy kind of feeling that is, this primal evil that we have. That's what is most likely going on in their brain. Of course, everyone's going to say they have good intentions. Like, yeah, no thief is going to say he's a thief. Duh. Like, we don't judge people on their intentions because everyone's going to fucking lie about their intentions. You have to judge people on their actions. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. No, it's fucking not. So a similar thing to that is never ascribe to malice what can be attributed to incompetence. The problem with this is that it makes people so fucking docile, right? If something seems immoral, then they're not actually immoral. They're just misunderstood. They're just being a silly Billy. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Recruiters are watching. HR is watching. Everywhere. And we hate you. We hate you so much. And you think we can't do anything. But we can. We have the power. Always.
The UK government arrested more people than Russia for offensive opinions on social media. Am I to believe that the people that are instrumental in this happening are just these silly billies? No, they're not. They know what they're doing. They're not being incompetent. They're not. They're being malicious. If something seems malicious, then it's probably malicious. Have you ever had a group of friends and you're doing your regular, guy banter where you joke around and, you take lighthearted jabs at people and you've just got this banter going on, right? But there's this one guy in that friend group. You can just kind of tell that they don't like you. It's not really banter. They're just actually just having a dig at you. They just actually want to annoy, frustrate, or, make you feel bad. Do you ever have that? Well, you should probably trust your instincts. Like, that person is trying to annoy, frustrate, or make you upset, right? Like, that's what it is. Our instincts are very well attuned. There's 10 quadrillion, neurons in the brain. Like, we're pretty fucking good at calculating social dynamics. I think we should kind of fucking trust it, right? Like, if someone seems like they don't like you, they probably just don't fucking like you. Yeah, you should ascribe malice to things that seem malicious. If you internalize this advice where you never suspect anyone's up to anything bad, then yeah, you're just ripe for the pickings. You're just very susceptible to getting fucked with. It makes you docile. It makes you a weak target by, thinking this. Another, I guess this isn't really a platitude, but beauty fades. I guess the real platitude is beauty fades, but the heart is forever, or something like that, right? The reason why I don't like this is because it's a load of fucking cope. There's this false dichotomy that's presented where you can either be someone that looks good or someone that is a nice guy, has a nice personality, one of the two. It's not mutually exclusive at all. This is just bullshit cope made by ugly women. You can be a mogre and have a good heart at the same time. They're not mutually exclusive. And also, what's this idea that because something's temporary, then it doesn't really matter? Like it's somehow, not as important. I don't think anyone really believes that at all. You could apply that same logic to health, right? Everyone's health is temporary. Nobody's health lasts forever. The prime of your life is pretty fucking short when you're athletic and have a real robust immune system and your organs are all, A-okay. That's temporary. But does that mean that we should just disregard that as meaningful? Absolutely not. Nobody thinks that. Because beauty is temporary, you should enjoy the time in your life, or strive to be someone that looks good, so that you can actually enjoy this limited period in your life when men or women genuinely want to sleep with you. You should enjoy that time in your life. The same way you should enjoy the time in your life when, you can run and jump and be athletic and, be in good health and you should enjoy that. Another thing is pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Now, this is more of a boomer platitude, but the subtext of this is you should just totally disregard any external or systemic problem that's maybe affecting your outcome. And you should only focus on the things you can control. They probably wouldn't put it in such an articulate way, but that's the subtext they're getting at, right? And the problem with this is, a lot of things in life aren't solved by working harder. They're just not. There's so many things that are just way outside the scope of your control. The typical, argument that boomers or Gen Z or millennials have, it kind of boils down to boomers having an easier time getting their start in life. The house price to average income ratio was way more favorable for boomers than it is, people today, right? I think you have every right to complain about that. We're going to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps anyway. Everyone's going to, work reasonably hard to, make their quality of life better, right? That's just a given. But you can also complain about the bullshit that's inflicted on you as well. There's quite a lot of things that are way outside the scope of your control. In a lot of cases, just working harder is not the solution to it. Boomers just don't want to fucking recognize any of this. And the fact that they don't want to recognize any of this kind of creates so much animosity, intergenerational animosity. Imagine how much more liked boomers would be if they had just a sliver of, self-knowledge. But no, everything has to be a cope. Everything has to be a platitude, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, all that bullshit. And that's part of the reason why there's such a disliked generation. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.